Gujarati wedding in Maui and uncle forgot to bring the dandias? Man, FedEx is gonna love that shipping bill. Aloha, mahalo. What's up everybody? This is Ajay with Special Occasions DJ and Lighting, your Indian wedding experts. And today, I wanna talk to you guys on how to have a wedding in Hawaii. Hawaii is a gorgeous destination for your Indian wedding. But before you lock it in, there are a couple pros, cons, and considerations that we need to talk about. Number one, what are the pros of having your shadi in Hawaii? Like any destination wedding, it's a gorgeous experience for you and your guests. The weather is usually amazing year-round. For most people who live in America, Hawaii is very accessible. On the wedding front, destination weddings in Hawaii are a big business. Whether you're going small and intimate or extremely luxurious, Hawaii can cater to it all. Lastly, most of the weddings we do in Hawaii, most of your guests will end up coming a little bit earlier or staying later. I mean, why not make a vacation out of it? Now, let's talk about the cons. You're gonna need a lot of it. Hawaii is not necessarily the cheapest destination to host an Indian wedding. But I saw a brochure said I could have my wedding there for $10,000. Most wedding packages that hotels offer in that price range cover just a 30-minute ceremony and are typically catered to a Hawaiian style or westernized wedding ceremony. And when I say 30 minutes, I mean 30 minutes. That's it. I mean, 30 minutes doesn't even cover Indian Standard Time. You know most people are gonna show up late anyway. When you factor in the cost of multiple flights to Hawaii to just research your event, paying for the hotel rooms of your closest family members, extra luggage to bring in all those Indian wedding specific things like chai, dandias, suitcases for your saris and langas and dupattas and turbans and pagaris, and of course, don't forget, the hotel rooms are not cheap in Hawaii. Whether you or your guests are paying for hotels, a standard hotel room in Hawaii is anywhere between $250 to $500. Another con, flying in specific vendors. While Hawaii has a few Indian vendors, not all vendors are easily accessible in Hawaii. If you're looking for specialized Indian food, then you may have certain limitations depending on the island you choose to have your event. When it comes to booking a photographer in Hawaii, while they do have some photographers that are wonderful at what they do, there are a bunch of photographers that specialize in Indian weddings around the United States that fly to Hawaii and do an amazing job. We see this happen all the time. When it comes to booking a DJ in Hawaii, if you're just looking for someone to play a couple Indian songs, you're probably okay booking the local vendor. However, if you're looking for a seamless Indian wedding experience from your barat to your ceremony to your reception and to have a good amount of Bollywood music, then you better give us a call sooner than later. Now, a lot of people think if we book a wedding in Hawaii rather than our local area, our guest list will drop from 400 to maybe 200. Won't this bring the cost down? Lower guest count? Sure. But a higher travel and expense bill? Yep. Check this out. You're gonna have 100 to 200 guests. Invest in flying to your event. Most of these folks are gonna take time off of work. They're gonna spend money on their airfare, their bags, their hotels, and they're coming to celebrate for you. So think about offering them a wonderful experience. You're gonna wanna arrange for them to be picked up from the airport and drop them back. Maybe host an excursion on the beach for them. For the people who come early, maybe host a small private dinner. I see this all the time. Once you have a lifetime's worth of friends and family come in, you tend to go over budget. It's normal, but something to keep in mind. Now, let's talk about your dream shadi in Hawaii. Now, when it comes to planning an Indian wedding in Hawaii, the islands that I recommend planning in this order are Oahu, Maui, and Kauai. Let's talk about the pros and cons of each island. You'll have the most options in Oahu, and it's also going to be the most cost-effective island to host your event. Honolulu also has the best connectivity to the mainland. Maui, wowie. I love Maui, and it's beautiful. Maui's gorgeous, and expensive. While Maui may have some great Indian food options, it's definitely more expensive. The flights are a little bit less accessible, but if your heart's set on it, it's totally doable. Maui is personally one of my favorites. And finally, another con of having a wedding in Hawaii is that your guests from India are gonna have another day of travel added to their itinerary. And if you choose one of the smaller islands, even a few more hours after that. You better make sure Dadi's got an ocean view. Kauai, definitely one of my favorite options. One of the most gorgeous places in all of the world. There's a Hindu monastery that's very popular. Not very crowded. All those pros come with a few cons. It's raining. Kauai has some of the most frequent rainfall in the world. So the weather in Kauai isn't quite reliable if you're looking for that sunny beachside wedding. Kauai's accessibility is also rather limited. So for East Coast and Midwest cities, you're gonna have to stop through Oahu first before landing in Kauai. Because of extra travel and the cost of bringing in additional vendors from outside, Kauai is one of the most expensive islands to host an event. Now let's talk about cost. On average, a 100-person wedding in Oahu will cost you about 150 grand. Maui, maybe another 50,000 on top of that. Kauai should be pretty neck and neck with Maui, but I would anticipate potentially another 25 to 30,000. My personal recommendation, if you're on a budget and you've got 200 plus guests, stick with Oahu. If you can afford the options and travel isn't a constraint, then Maui is absolutely a beautiful place to have your Indian wedding. Lastly, for small and intimate events, maybe 100 people or less, and budget isn't an issue, Kauai is your dream destination. I'm Ajay Manaktala with SODJ LA, your Indian wedding experts. If you do have any questions, comments, leave them in the links below. And don't forget to subscribe for all your Indian wedding tips and tricks.